Right, so you might have heard in my last video I mentioned something about nobody seems to do video responses anymore. And then, along with about 850 other things that I say which people take no notice of, this was the one thing that I take notice of. And you may have noticed that a couple of people have already put up videos about their least favourite genres. Double Jump Gaming did it, and then David playing retro games badly, Birdsall did it, and then Jimmy Retro did it. And then I thought, well, it's about time good old RetroBear got on the bandwagon. So, for the record, I'm not going to respond to those videos and criticise what you've done, although I've got to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't agree with all the stuff you said, Dave. I don't agree with what you said about Sonic at all, in the slightest. That's why he's called Sonic the Hedgehog. If he wasn't called Sonic the Hedgehog, he'd be called Slowpoke the Tortoise, or something else like that. I agree with you about FIFA. I think it'd be much easier for EA just to release a patch of the new details that you need, because they're not going to do that, are they? They're much rather better at charging you £60 each. And for somebody, and this might be a bit of an ironic comment considering what's about to come, for somebody who hates FIFA games, my friend, you've got an awful lot of them. I don't agree, well, I do agree with Dizzy. I like the character, but I don't like the games, although the music for Treasure Island Dizzy is possibly my favourite piece of music on the Commodore 64 and the Amiga. The Sims I never got into, so I can't really talk about that, and Renegade sort of passed me by when I was a kid, so I can't agree with that one. Jimmy, you mentioned 3. Pokemon, I completely agree, I just don't get it. I never have got it. I've played Pokemon Yellow on the Game Boy, which I got from a car boot with a Pokemon Game Boy for, and some other games for about £7. I tried playing it for half an hour, I just couldn't get on with it. No, not interested in that totally. I disagree with Lego. I think Lego games years ago were sort of like really sort of basic games. They weren't very good, they didn't review very well, and all of a sudden they did Lego Star Wars, which sort of took it up to the next level. Whether they're reaching a saturation point, probably yes, but they are fun games and they are interesting to play, and they do put a twist on certain things. So I find the Lego games fun, so for me, I'm alright with that one. And the 3D Mario thing, I don't know, I'm sort of somewhere in between the two. I love Mario 64. I'm probably one of the few people who loves Mario Sunshine, because it was just different. It wasn't just Mario, it was something different. I've not played any of the other ones since then, though. I'm not likely to play Odyssey at any particular point in time. But really, that was sort of the next thing. Sega tried it with Sonic, and they tried to do 3D games. This and other 3D games have failed. That one, Mario 64, was the one that sort of pushed it onto the next level. So I like them. I don't like the 2D Mario games much. So I prefer the 3D ones I played over the old ones. Right. So that's responses to your videos. Mine now, I've got, I mean, how many different genres can I possibly hate? Loads. Just to let you know, this week's game of choice isn't one of those. This is Sega Superstars Tennis on the Wii, also available on other formats. Running in the background, just so you're aware of that. You can see I still have the Wii on the floor. Right, my first game of choice, which I really absolutely bloody hate. And it's Final Fantasy, not just Final Fantasy X2, which I should get to in a second, but just Final Fantasy in general. I've got a manual in this one, and there's the back of the box. I seriously cannot get on with this. I played the very first one on emulation, and I'd see something half an hour, 40 minutes or so, and nothing happened. And I really don't like games where I sort of get to a certain point where I have to pick what I'm going to do, and then the computer simulates it for me. No, I'd much rather lose my own battles, thank you very much. I don't want to get involved in sort of walking on gear. And the fact that, you know, seriously, you probably have to spend, you know, to know what the series is about and play through all the games because there's a story. And I resent that I have to buy Final Fantasies 1 through 10 to find out the story all the way through. Why do I keep buying games? I can't just delve into something. No, start with one. I can't start with one. It's too bloody expensive. Okay, well, start with this one. No, why should I? I've got some tea brewing over here. No, they just don't appeal to me, and that sort of falls in for all RPGs and JRPGs. I like the concept, but it just bores me stupid. One I didn't get down, which I'm going to show you as well, which I bought years and years ago because I thought, oh, I'll get this, Kingdom Hearts 2, because it's meant to be really good. It's got sort of Disney and Final Fantasy and all this business going on, and I played this for about 40 odd minutes or so, probably very badly, and I got to the point where the Disney characters hadn't turned up, so I said, you know what, I'm only going to do something else. So yeah, RPGs, no. Next one's a real hate passion of mine. You're probably aware of it. I talk about it all the bloody time, and it's our old friend Street Fighter bloody 2. Oh my goodness, mate. I really resent games that I have to understand what's going on from a control point of view, otherwise I'm going to get my arse kicked each time I pick the pad up. I used to hate playing this around my friend's house because all they would do was memorise the instruction manual. Okay, they'd memorise it, they'd play it for hours on end, come around and play Street Fighter 2 and spend the next 2 hours getting pummeled into the ground. Yeah, I worked that one out after a couple of years. Why, oh why, should the game become so complicated? When Nintendo released the 6-button joypad with the 4 buttons and the 2 shoulder pads, all of a sudden the game became to a new level, but infinitely more difficult. All of a sudden you just can't press fire or fire and this button. No, you've got to press this and combination of that and hold this down and move this left and right. And do you know, when I play fighting games, I memorise like 2 moves and I'll use those and see how far I get. And if I don't get very far with it, I'll go and do something else. I mean, I've also got Street Fighter 4. We've had this running in the background before now. Why did I buy this? Because it was cheap. It's like having a wall built by Mr. O'Reilly. I just can't stand Street Fighter games. You know, main characters called Ken and Ryu and Honda, which I think was a car. Dreadful names for characters. It hasn't stopped me amassing 3 games in the collection. I did pick this one up. I've shown this one off before, a car boot for a couple of quid. It's worth infinitely more than that now, not much more, because this is coming out on the Mega Drive Mini. So it may drop in price, I don't know, but I quite like it in my collection. Even though I bloody hate Street Fighter 2. Here's another thing as well. My mate paid 65 quid for that when it came out. We still laugh at him. So Street Fighter 2, and actually Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter something else, and Street Fighter versus this and Street Fighter versus that, and anything that's got the word Street Fighter in it, no thank you. Right, next, so this is just, I mean, I haven't got many of these games, but very much like their RPGs, these sort of games bore me stupid. Command and Conquer, or indeed anything that involves real-time strategy, with the exception of football management games. Not all football management games. Some football management games, because they are technically real-time simulation. You're making adjustments, and then there's an outcome. But it's your choice, you know. If I'm playing something like Final Fantasy and RPG, it's like, do you want to attack this? Yes, okay, so I'm going to fight with a weapon. And at least with football manager games, I can move things around and adjust things. These sort of things I can't stand. Again, it's just basically like playing a giant film. You just move this around, move that around, and guess what happens? Stuff. So I just can't get on with these games. They just bore me absolutely stupid. They are sort of like the main equivalent of what they say, just choose your own adventure type things. Choose this path and this will happen. Go that way and that will happen. Someone even gave the passwords in this game at all, which again is great, because they're going to be completely wasted on a moron like me who's not going to play this game. I just don't like these games at all. There's no interest in those whatsoever. You know, not a big hate, because I don't play many of them. But if I had a choice, no. What's next up for me? There's Command and Conquer there on the Xbox 3. So it's not as if I ain't got these games to play. It's just that I just choose not to play them. That might be different. It may not be. This one might be. I'm not saying this to be controversial. You've already had sort of Street Fighter. You've had Final Fantasy. I ain't saying this to start. Oh, you know, he only likes the rubbish games. No, it doesn't have to be that way. If I like the rubbish games, I like the rubbish games. Most of us enjoy the rubbish games. We also enjoy the good games. I'm not picking these out to be controversial. I just don't like these games. You might enjoy them. You might think they're the best games in the world. You might think that I've got probably the worst tasting games ever. Fine. If that's the case, we'll agree with that. I don't mind it. But I'm going to tell you now, I can't flipping stand Zelda either. Absolute. I hate games where I've got to walk around for hours on end before something happens. And it's not as if I haven't got any bloody Zelda games, because I've got loads of them. Isn't it amazing? We don't like these sort of games, but being games collectors, we have like every single version of Zelda ever made. Well, I don't, because I can't afford them. But you know, there's Wind Waker. A friend of mine, I can't remember, said he played Majora's Mask. It might have been Majora's Mask. It might have been this one. And he said, "Oh, I spent ages just, you know, floating around fishing." I said, "For how long did you do that?" "Oh, about 4 or 5 hours." Seriously? I heard somebody had spent. They said, "I had a very enjoyable afternoon walking around the mountains on Breath of the Wild." Well, there's some mountains outside. Go and walk around them. I don't, you know, what appeal does that have to me? Neither. Neither want to go outside and walk around mountains, and neither want to sit there and play a game when walking around mountains for the sole purpose of absolutely no purpose whatsoever. I just don't understand it. I mean, don't get me wrong, the concept of the game is lovely, the design on this one is beautiful, but it's bloody Zelda, And I've got Ocarina of Time, which I forgot to get down, which I'm not going to go and stand up there and try and pull the shelf off and disrupt it all. But I've got 5 Zelda games. I played Ocarina of Time for about an hour and it bored me. I played Breath of the Wild for an hour and it bored me. I've not played any of these later ones. This is Skyward Sword, which is meant to be one of the best Zelda games ever. And I watched a video of it and I thought, this is just, ugh, what a silly idea for a game. But people love them, and I can understand, you know, if it's your sort of thing, great, fine, not my cup of tea at all. It's got the special orchestral CD in there as well, so I'm doing game pickups and things at the same time as well. But yeah, Zelda games, no. Yeah. And then another one, I'm actually going to throw in something else as well, things I don't like. There's loads of things I don't like in games, but achievement trophies, that never used to be anything, you know. The only achievement you needed back in the day was finishing a game. To complete a game, however you did it, you completed the game. That was the achievement, not do this and unlock this trophy and get these. And I hear people say, oh, I've got, you know, again, if these are your achievements, fantastic. Oh, I got to platinum on this, picked all the platinum trophies. I ain't got time to sit around and play platinum trophies. I work from A through to B. How I get from A to B is entirely down to me and how many efforts it takes me to get through there, how many credits, how many lives, what have you. I don't go A via A6 over there and then to A9 and then back to A35 and then finally to B. I will go from A to B in the shortest route possible to complete the game. So I don't like trophies, I don't like achievements like that. I can't stand it. You buy a game, you finish the game, you move on to the next game. That's what you do. And finally, going back to mountains, the most useless thing I could possibly think of, game-wise, why would you buy something like that? Horse riding games came pretty close, but I always defend horse riding games because they're just different. And I think your Sesame collection is a bit weird. So this one, for me, I look at what is the most pointless series of games that I can think of or I can see that I have or I know of. And it's this guy. Anthony Hawk. My goodness me. I sat there and looked at these and thought, yeah, these are possibly the most pointless games ever made. Why? Because you buy one of those, you're a muppet. The reason being is, do you know how much skateboards cost? Buy a skateboard and go out there and do your own tricks and your own stunts and whiz around the neighbourhood on your skateboard. Because this is just an absolute pointless waste of time. These games are made for people who have balance problems like me, okay? Now you might think, oh, hang on a second, well, what about tennis games? What about golf games? Well, yeah, I agree. I hate playing tennis, but I enjoy playing tennis games on computers and consoles. I enjoy playing golf, but that doesn't mean I don't enjoy playing golf on computers and consoles, because I do. I used to enjoy playing football. Doesn't necessarily mean I hate playing football on computer and consoles, because I don't. I like playing those. But I just don't see the point in playing a skateboarding game when a skateboard is, you know, infinitely cheaper. Go outside and get some fresh air and go and play around with this and try and emulate some of the tricks, because one day that might be your mug on the front of the box there selling your games, not him. It's just pointless game. It'd be much more efficient and cheaper to go out and do it yourself, and you know, everybody's much happier, and then I can stop going on about it. So there you go. Those are my 5 real sort of gaming genres I particularly dislike, and I dare say I'm going to get a fair few responses. It might be nice. People might just think I'm a sad old individual stuck in my game pantry, ranting to a camera, and nobody cares. Possibly, I don't know, but we will see. Anyway, so that's it. So I'm going to put a link into Jimmy's video. I'm going to put a link into Dave's video so you can see what this is all about. If you have enjoyed this one and you do enjoy watching theirs, upload your own. Let's see what we can do. Let's go on from there. Let's start other topics off. Sorry, I mentioned Double Jump Games as well. I'll put your video on here as well. You'll do a shout out, my friend. You'll get one very soon. But I will put a link in, because you started this off. I left a comment and then I mentioned it to somebody else and they said that's a really good idea, and all of a sudden we got 3 videos. So great stuff from everybody. And yeah, respond with your own. Give us something different. Throw something left field out. Don't be scared to show off. You might turn around and say, I hate Mario. Fine, you hate Mario. Brilliant. Good for you. That's enough mine if I hate Mario or not. I like some Mario games. I don't like all of them. And I didn't put Mario Kart in, but that's because I think the last 2 or 3 versions of Mario Kart have been much better than the early versions I played. So from that point of view, it's sort of probably saving grace on that one. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this and haven't fallen asleep or turned me off and gone to something else completely different, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment and ring that bell for more videos. This has been an extra special video from RetroBear on what's been a rather extra special week in the uploads. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope to catch you again very soon. Bye for now.